Peter, last year was the first season coming out of COVID really, and the pathway would have experienced a few rocky moments there as people had less access to game time and less access to high performance pathway programs. What could you deliver last season and how important was it?
No, most definitely. And if we take ourselves back to June, July 2021, I know you'll probably remember that we played a Six Nations under-20s, and obviously working with the other unions and our other partners to get that tournament away in Cardiff was a great success for all of us, because as you say, those players were denied playing opportunities and across the usual season plan and season calendar. But over there we were more or less confined to a hotel in Cardiff, and we were obviously trying to avoid any impact on performance and anyone unfortunately getting sick. So to get those series of games away and actually complete a competition coming out of COVID was a great success for all of us.
As that 21-22 season kicked through, you managed to get squads together that hadn't been together for a while, like your under-18s, under-19s ahead of Christmas, and then an under-20s programme back up and running in some sort of level of normality. How important are those programmes in terms of either benchmarking talent within the system or just you guys learning more about ththose players?
Well, that's the thing, because we kind of entered into the unknown once we came back from Cardiff in the summer of 21. And it was just really heartening to see all the work that the players, parents, volunteers, clubs, schools, and then the professional staff put on to get all our inter-pros away at all the various levels. And obviously the HPC was a great resource to get those games played, because obviously we're still under certain criteria in terms of attendance in matches and playing and changing and getting games away. So I think that gave everyone in Irish Rugby a huge boost that we could complete a series of interprovincials, and that set us up really well then for the season ahead from September onwards.
How important is it that they are challenged, whether it's at AIL level or at Leinster development level or at national programme level, to push on their development?
Well, I think when you look at last season in its entirety, I mean, to run all the Schools Cup competitions, all the club competitions, all our international age grade offerings, and to get them all away was just such a huge achievement for everyone in Irish Rugby, and they can be rightly proud of. Because even last year we faced a lot of hurdles. All our Christmas camps, for example, were cancelled due to Omicron when that kind of hit various sections of society. So it's so important that our whole playing population at whatever level just got out playing the game, enjoying themselves, getting back out to their clubs and schools. And then by them doing that, we were obviously able to select and start populate our national age grade teams.
We had a very successful under-20s campaign in Six Nations and then an additional tournament during the summer. What has that programme benefited from those exposures?
Well, I think if you look at that programme, one of the things on reflection we're delighted about is we capped 42 players. So there was always this fear during when games weren't being played, are we missing players, or are people struggling with their development, are people struggling with their game opportunities? To get that programme up and running again and get through the quantity of players, give them the opportunities both throughout the Six Nations, the summer series, was just great for everyone in that programme. Great for the provincial academies, great for the clubs and schools they were from, and ultimately great for Irish Rugby as those players return now into the new season. So that was a big plus for us. The summer series was interesting in that it was a kind of joint venture between Six Nations and World Rugby to put it together. It gave us access to teams generally we haven't played in a while, particularly South Africa, and that Southern Hemisphere exposure. And then to be playing in the north of Italy in 40-degree heat was another great challenge for the players. But for us, it's all about the whole time providing players with opportunities, broadening our player base and our talent pool, and then giving our players the best opportunity to benchmark themselves against their age grades throughout the world.
What are the playing opportunities at a national level for elite players that are trying to break their way through?
We're just finalising our international age grade programme at the moment, and just kind of taking you through it in chronological order. We'll actually put out 4 under-18s international age grade sides this year, from clubs, youths, clubs and schools, and then we have our sevens programme as well. We're having return fixtures with the French at under-19s level. We're travelling to France next Easter, and then we're going to have a full 20s programme. So Six Nations, including a junior championships, which hopefully will go ahead in South Africa in June, July.
How has the IRFU been looking to support those players, or what are the type of resources that are going into the provinces or going into the system to ensure that we can support that talent?
Well, I think that's the thing to really emphasise here is, like, it takes a lot of people in a lot of different environments. Firstly, to get a player selected international age grade, and then when they're on an international age grade team, to look after him and give him the best chance that he can ultimately perform in a green jersey in any sense. So right back from the people we deal with in clubs and schools, their coaches, their parents, their volunteers, their school teachers, running right through to the professional staff then who work in the provinces, across both domestic and performance sides of the game, and then ultimately ending up in international age grade. And I think that's why people delight in young players advancing and young players proving themselves at different levels, is because there's so much gone into that player's journey from so many stakeholders throughout the game. Everyone can feel ownership in it, and that's also reflected by the number of players we have playing right across the AAL, not just in 1A but all the way down from 1A to 2C, and representing their clubs, representing their communities, and ultimately representing that all the people who have got them to the different stages of their development they have.
And because the gaze is quite wide, how do you stay connected with that talent, and how do you ensure that you're spotting that talent?
Well, look, I think that's really the big driver for us this year, is that, you know, we're all Irish Rugby, and we work very closely with Colin McEntee, Director of Rugby Development, and all his staff to ensure that once anyone is participating in the game, there will be opportunities for further advancement if that's what they so desire. So we don't look at it in isolation of, oh, you know, it's a performance pathway or it's an age grade team. It's Irish Rugby is producing all these players, and if we're all working together to produce these players at one, we know we're going to be in a lot stronger place going forward.